Hello, my name is Dalton Caldwell, and today on my lunch break I am coming to Barbecued, which is quickly becoming one of Vernal's favorite barbecue restaurants. Now, Barbecued is actually owned by a young and successful entrepreneur named Max Panus. Now, I recently had an interview with Max where I asked him different questions about his business and how he became successful in his business. And I'd like to share with you some of those insights that I learned from Max so that I can be able to help you and help myself learn how to become a successful entrepreneur. The first thing that I learned from Max is about an education. Max knows the importance of an education, and he knows that in order to stay on top in the business world, you need to stay educated. He constantly is reading books and textbooks. Yes, textbooks, and he's not even in college. He wants to learn what other businesses have done and emulate that into his business so that he can make sure that he is always staying on top and doing all that he can to be a successful entrepreneur. Another thing that I learned from Max is how important hard work is. And not just hard work, but hard work with excitement. Max says that he might not be as smart as other people or as rich as other people, but he will work harder than any other person that is out there. He's willing to shed blood, sweat, and tears in order to stay on top. An example of this is across the street from Barbecued. He had a competition, another barbecue stand. But the great thing about it is that they only stayed in business for 3 months because Max worked hard, made sure that he kept his customers happy, and he did everything possible to make sure that his business strived and thrived through the competition that was across the street. Another thing with Max that he taught me was that you need to test a product or service before exploiting it. The way that an example that Max has done this is he is actually moving from the current stand where he's at now into a restaurant style business. Because right now he has a drive up and a walk up and just a few chairs to sit out, but during the winter months not very many people want to go out there and sit out there because it gets pretty chilly. What he's doing is he's opening this restaurant so that he can have customers come year-round to come inside and enjoy the great barbecue food that he offers. Now, I said that he taught me how to test and to know when to exploit an idea. The way that he did this is with his customers. He interviewed them, he did surveys, he asked them questions every time they came in to find out what was important to them in a restaurant, and he figured out what is going to work for his business. When you talk to Max, there's no second guessing whether or not his business will be successful. He knows that it will be, and he knows that he will be successful in his business as he starts this new venture into a restaurant. Now, this is actually just part of his vision, but I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. Now, he also taught me that you need to do what you love. Max, he read a book and shared a story with me about 50 entrepreneurs that were interviewed, that were successful, that had done very well for themselves. And the book was trying to figure out what they had in common to become successful. The results were that really none of the entrepreneurs, none of the businessmen really had anything in common with their stories. The one thing they did have in common was that they loved what they did. They worked hard, they had the intensity for what they did to become successful. Max, he is doing what he loves. He loves having a restaurant and serving others, and he wants to do that the rest of his life because that's what he loves doing. Max, he shared with me towards the end of our interview a goal that he had, and his goal is to influence every person that he comes in contact with for the better. Whether that be his customers, the people he meets in his day-to-day life, his vendors, the lady at Smith's who does his bread for his business. He wants to make sure that he is doing everything to influence people for the better, and that's his #1 goal. I had talked about his goal for the future for his business. He wants to be as big as Walmart, he mentioned to me, as big as Cafe Rio in Utah. What he wants to do is, instead of people saying, you know what, while we're at Walmart, let's go to Barbecued and grab a sandwich, he wants people to say, while we're at Barbecued, let's head over to Walmart and go finish our shopping. That's his goal and his vision. He wants to be nationwide with his company, and be huge. And he's working towards that goal currently as we speak. Now, I hope that you've been able to learn from me what I learned from Max in order to be a successful entrepreneur. I learned a lot from him that I'm going to apply into my own life. Now, if you would excuse me, I'm going to get to my lunch and enjoy this wonderful pulled pork sandwich from Max. Mmm.